May peace descend upon the earth and begin in our communities and our hearts. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. To come into a down dog, and we'll walk that dog left, right, left. Left, right, left. Side to side. And when ready, put one foot on top of the other's Achilles heel and push down slowly on that heel to get that calf muscle to stretch. And we'll switch, bringing the other foot right between big toe, second toe, and pressing lightly on the heel, getting that heel to slide down. And then as your feet come back, let yourself walk a little left, right, left. And when you're ready, we'll bend the knees, coming down to our mat. Keep your toes tucked and walk your hands back to sit up on those knees. And feel the bottom of that foot stretch. Just resting your hands on your lap. See if you can take 3 long breaths here, feeling that intense stretch in the bottom of the foot. Then crossing your ankles and sliding your feet underneath you or around to the side. Come into a cross-legged position. We'll bring our hands over to one side, interlacing your fingers by one hip. For a neck stretch, drop the opposite ear to the shoulder. Slowly come around, interlacing those fingers by the other hip, and drop that opposite ear to your opposite shoulder. Then as you release, swing your legs around behind you to come into child's pose, bringing the knees wide, walking the hands forward, and slowly lowering down to the mat. Stay there, keeping your forehead near your mat, and allowing yourself to relax there. If you have any prayer, blessing, poem, or mantra that you like, repeat that to yourself to bless your practice. Stretching out long in your child's pose. Give yourself a few deep breaths there. Feeling stretched out and long. Then as you're ready, start to slowly pull yourself up to tabletop pose. We'll pick up the right leg and move it around in a few circles. Both directions. And extend that leg away, nice and long on your mat, tucking the toes, pressing through your heel, feeling the stretch through the back of the leg. Then bend that knee, pick up the other leg, make some circles with your hips. Both directions. And extend that leg away, tucking the toes, pushing through that back heel. Slowly release. We're coming into working on our hips and legs and low back today. So we're coming into a half frog. starting out in your table, bring one leg to the side, the foot to the side, and start to sit back. If this bothers your inner knee, put a little pad there at the inner knee. And it's just a very gentle, it should feel intense, but it isn't the biggest stretch, just a nice inner thigh stretch. Start to come back up to tabletop and shake that leg off. You don't have to turn around like I'm doing. I'm just doing that so you can see what I'm doing better. So you could just stay in one direction on your mat if you want. And we'll do half frog on the other side. So one knee is right underneath your hip in table. The other leg steps out. Turn the foot out like a frog and sit back if you can. And then you don't have to sit back as far as you can, just a nice little sit back. Hello to our hips. Take your time to come out and bring both knees underneath you. We'll start to walk the hands back to the knees, tuck the toes, and sit back. You can turn the feet out at about 45 degrees and come up to a frog pose. Your frog could be up here with your hands at your heart, elbows inside your knees. Or if you're feeling warmed up, you can start to sit down deeper, but watch out for your knees. If your heels pop up, take your feet a little wider. So stay where you need to stay. No competition, whatever works best for you. Then we'll start to come out of this and support yourself with your hands. Walk your feet wider, taking your feet as wide apart as they'll go. You can hold on to the legs or the floor or a block and let your upper body relax forward. As you turn upside down, let your head become heavy and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. You can apply a little weight to the ball of your feet as if your heels are going to lift without them lifting. Remember, practice safely. Only do what's best for you. Now stay here in this wide-legged forward fold and see if your body wants to move with the upper body. Let that upper body move slightly side to side. Maybe nodding your head. Shaking out your neck. Soft knees. Bend one knee in the direction of the toes while the other leg stays straight for this big inner thigh stretch. Coming through the middle, bend the knee in the direction of the toes as the other leg straightens. Feeling the inner thighs. And as we come out, we'll walk our hands around towards one leg, putting the back knee down on the ground. Bend the front knee to 90 degrees and keep your back toes tucked for now. Hands are on either side of the foot. Slowly pick up the back knee and press through that back heel. Feel that stretch down your back hip flexor and in the bottom of your foot. As you slowly put the back knee down, bring both hands inside your front foot. And your front foot will turn out at 45 degrees for lizard. Press the knee in the direction of the toes. The toes are turned out. Come down to your palms and begin to lift that back leg again. Put the back knee down, and we'll slowly start to walk towards the side. And this should intensify this inner thigh stretch here. Top of the back foot down on the ground. Walking over towards the side, you can stay on your palms. Watch out for this front knee. It's still turned out at 45. You can come down to your elbows for a more intense stretch through the hips. For wandering dragon pose, lunge your front knee a little more forward. Take your time to come out, and we'll wiggle the foot back to the middle of our mat and slowly come up to the thigh. Reach the opposite hand of the bent knee up and over. And find this lateral lean here, loosening up any tension in your ribs and in your low back. As you come out, begin to straighten the front leg, and hands frame the front leg again. Coming forward down your leg for a hamstring stretch. Relax your upper body over that leg. Remember to use your best judgment and only do what feels safe for you. Uncomfortable is okay, but never unsafe. Bring both hands inside your legs again and slowly start to turn towards the side of the mat, coming back to our big wide-legged pose. Now we'll make this more about our hips, this time as we turn the big toes in and start to lower that upper body toward the floor. Lift your hips up high towards the sky and push back towards the heels this time. The toes can come off the mat if it feels safe to you. Feel this stretch all across your sacrum, low back, and inside your hips. Turn your toes in a little bit more if you can. Start to slowly come out and begin to walk your hands around towards the other leg. And we're going to start just like we did last time with a lunge. Push through the back heel. Your hands are on either side of the front foot. Feel that stretch down that whole back leg. Slowly lower the back knee down now. Push through that big toe. Feel that plantar tendon stretching in the bottom of your foot. Both hands come inside the front foot as it turns out at 45 degrees for lizard. Plant your palms. The front foot's turned out 45 and the knee is going in the direction of the toes. Then slowly pick up your back leg and push through the back heel. Put the back knee back down top of the back foot and maybe come down to your elbows. We'll slowly come back up. Take your time. For our wandering dragon, we're walking over to the side. That front knee is still turned out at 45 degrees, just like it was in lizard. This is an incredibly intense pose, so please be safe. Option, come down to your elbows in wandering lizard, or dragon rather, the front knees moving towards the toes. Take your time to come out. Walk towards that front leg, hands frame the front foot now, and straighten that front leg as you walk back. Feeling that hamstring stretch all down the back of the legs. Walking forward slowly, keep this front foot in flexion. Take a big breath as you look out over the leg. And exhale, soften here. We're coming into pigeon next, so we're going to keep the same leg at the front as we come up and wiggle the foot across your mat towards the other side. So the knee is bent less than 90 degrees, the ankle feels safe. Now walk your back leg back a few steps to get that back leg, top of the foot, back leg straight. Sit up tall. Now if this doesn't work for your leg, flip over on your back and do the number 4 pose instead. So that's your alternative for pigeon. If you're in pigeon, lay down over the front of your leg. I don't like to go all the way to my belly because that can compress the front hip and the knee, so I like to stay up a little bit here. Keep asking your body to relax. And we'll start to come up. Roll over onto that hip if you're in pigeon and swing the back leg all the way around so that you have your ankle outside your knee. If this does not work, you can keep the bottom leg straight. Just remember which leg is on top. So you could be here or put that foot to the side, not sitting on the foot. Hug the knee in towards you, sit up tall, reach up with the opposite hand, and slowly find an easy twist, looking back behind your back shoulder. As you come back to the center, pick up this leg and move it over to the side some more for one of my favorite hip and low back stretches, shoelace pose. Now if you can't get your knees to stack with your feet to the side, you can also do this pose laying down. You can lay down on your back and cross your knees, holding opposite ankle with opposite hand. So laying down or sitting up, whatever is going to work the best for you. Then walk forward if you're seated with me over your crossed legs. Allow the back of your neck to stretch here. Let the shoulder blades round. and release the tension along your spine and shoulder blades. Feel the stretch across your low back and sacrum. And this top leg along the outer leg and the top of your glute. Start to come back up slowly. And we'll separate the legs and shake them all out. Now we'll come into pigeon on the other side. So the opposite leg is going to be on the bottom as you swing the leg around behind you. Lift up, nice and tall, feeling that stretch before laying down. And again, your alternative, if that isn't going to work for you, is the number 4 pose on your back. If you're here in pigeon with me, try to keep some space in your front hip flexor. We don't want to come out tighter than we started. As you start to come up, take your time. Shoelaces next. So if you need to do it on your back, just stay there on your back. Swing the back leg around over the front leg. We'll start out with the knee high, pushing the foot in the ground. Alternatively, this leg can go straight if you would like. Hug the knee in tight, sit up tall, and slowly turn to look back behind you. Begin to come out, and we'll come into shoelace. So we'll wiggle the top knee over the bottom knee. And again, you can lay on your back and hold the legs if that doesn't work for you. Sitting up nice and tall, begin to walk forward over your legs. Or if you're laying down, pull the legs slowly towards you. Once you've gone as far forward as you can, let yourself relax here. Exit the pose very slowly. We don't want to shock our body, so take your time. We're doing some really deep work today. for our legs and lower back and feet. As you sit back, take those legs out wide, and you can do the splits upside down, laying on your back too if you want. Move your hips back behind you, sit up tall, and exhale, start to walk forward. Now we're not trying to lay down on the ground. If that happens, that's fine. Inhale, lift up, and try to lengthen your low back. Lengthen your spine as you grip and pull lightly. Exhale, a little further forward. Inhale, sitting up, trying to maintain that straight neutral spine. Exhale, a little more forward. One more of these. Then, when you can't go any further with a straight spine, let yourself round down. Now, I'm only holding all these postures about 30 seconds, but if you ever find one that you're like, oh my gosh, that's the posture for me, try staying in it later, a lot longer. You can stay in poses 2-5 minutes if that works for you. Slowly come back up. We'll bring the bottoms of the feet together as in cobbler's pose. We'll start out with the feet really close to us, which will help stretch that inner thigh, the inner thighs. So the hips and the legs, when they're tight, they pull down on the low back. And so let's open up those hips. As you exhale, press down with your elbows. Inhale up, exhale, lightly press down. One more of those. Then as you come back up, take your feet as far away from you. Now again, I'm going to turn, but you don't have to turn. I'm just turning so you can see me better. I'm going to take the feet as far away from me as they'll go, with the bottoms of the feet still touching. So it's a different way to use cobblers. This version is more for our low back. So we'll sit up tall, and then exhale, walk down your legs and let your back round, tuck your chin in, and create a cat back, rounding your back rather, and feeling that stretch start to spread all across the low back, all the way along your erectors, the long muscles that run up to the back of the neck. Let it all get really soft. If you can, imagine there's a heating pad on the back of your neck or your low back, and create some heat there to get everything to soften and relax. You'll notice I do a lot of neck work in these postures because of my neck injury, so feel free to wiggle and fidget anytime you want. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your time to come out. No hurries today. As you come up, we'll stick the legs out in front of us and shake those legs off. Move your sit bones out of the way, which is just a yoga teacher way of saying to try to get your hips to point forward. So there's really no sit bones. It's just a polite way of saying move your glutes out of the way so that maybe your pelvis will tilt forward. We'll inhale, reach up tall, and exhale, reach past your feet. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, beyond those feet. And one more time. Slowly round down. Take your time to exit. Pick up one leg, bring that foot towards you. Keep the foot flexed and grab your big toe with the same side hand. Pull that big toe back and you should see the tendon pop out in the bottom of the foot. Just massage your arch a few times, working on those tight feet today. And then each toe, pull each toe gently back. You're not trying to pop them, you're just trying to stretch out those tendons and connective tissue in each toe. Very cautiously, just pulling each toe back. And start to release, slowly switching sides, cross the ankle over the thigh, slowly pull the big toe back towards you. Massage the bottom of the foot a couple times. And then each toe gets a nice loving stretch. Each toe is kind of like our spine. If we had our spine always curled up all day long, every day, 365 days out of the year, that's how we would be. We'd be all curled up. But we don't. We stretch our spine out. Let's stretch out our toes too. Stretch out your fingers too. Anything curled up, give it a nice stretch every day. And then we'll get ready to lay down on our mat. As you lay down, hug both knees in, and we'll massage our low back, left and right. If your knees are achy, hold the back of your legs. Just a little left, right, rocking side to side. Maybe some circles here. And then as you hug the knees in tight, bring your forehead up to your knees, stretching the whole back. And now our long back muscles, rocking forward and back on either side of the spine. And then as you come down, if there's anything else you need, find that pose. Maybe you want to drop both knees to one side, taking the arms out at airplane and looking away from the knees. Or anything you feel like doing right now. Allow yourself to move to the other side if you're in knees down twist with me. Or again, maybe you want to be rocking and rolling some more, or doing a happy baby, whatever it is for you. come back to the center. Let go of any stress or tension you're still holding. Drop into Shavasana. Close your eyes. And feel the effect of all the stretching and the yoga that you just did. I'll hopefully hear that you are feeling a lot better. And until I see you again, Namaste.